the station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Welcome to Hot Takes with me, hosted by the Murph Man, where life gets real and the mic stays hot. That's right, your favorite is experienced and yeah, that's smart and funny guy. From classroom chalk to comedy clubs, Murph Man breaks it down with brainy thuds. Parenting stress or college mess, he's been through it all, no need to guess. Insights are sharp and data's tight, rants are ready and the jokes are light. Turn it up, this show is hot. Honest, funny, maybe loud. Never scared to stand out proud. When life gets real, the mic stays warm. Hosted by the dad with lots of charm. Insights are sharp and data's tight. The rants are ready and the jokes are light. Real talk, keeping it true. From high school halls to podcast cues, live a little, learn a lot. Turn it up, this show is hot. Grab your coffee and let's get into it. No filter, no fluff, just real talk. Let's do it. Ready or not, here we go. It's time for Murph Man to start the show.
In a world drowning in data and dread, two men rise, not as saviors or scholars, but as the Murph Man and Connor. Witness their journey as they navigate the treacherous waters of, well, whatever they feel like talking about. Prepare for Hot Takes with the Murph Man, where opinions are strong, facts are optional, and personal experiences are the name of the game. They're not experts, but they play them on this show. Their passion isn't a performance, it's who they are. And sometimes that authenticity means a little adult language might slip out. They apologize for that ahead of time, promising to keep it minimal, but their reactions are always genuine. Now grab your coffee, sit back, and enjoy the show. Here are the Murph Man and Connor.
And we are back, Connor. How are we doing today?
Doing good. How we doing today?
How's school been treating you?
I mean, it's all right.
It's all right.
Not for me the best, but it's still getting me through the days.
Okay. So are you still doing good in school with your homework and everything?
Yeah, I was doing homework last night in my room.
And have you been having trouble with anything?
Chemistry, but that's it.
And well, I can't help you there. You know, actually, I gotta tell you guys, at my actual job, Connor was there, and I was telling him, like, I need help grading these papers. I said, I didn't show him any of the information. Don't worry, I didn't break any FERPA rules. I said, here, look at this screen. And this is the equation. Work it out for me. And he did. And that's okay. That's how you do it. Thank you. So he did good with those. And you knew exactly what you were doing when you got there. So you got to be doing pretty good about that.
A little bit.
You know, I've never taken chemistry. You know, that sort of leads into what today's show is. Let's start igniting the fuse.
Welcome to Hot Takes with the Murph Man. Today is episode number 11, The Career Interests Game, a fun way to discover your future. Today we're reframing a loaded question. What do you want to be when you grow up? This episode is about making career exploration a fun and low-pressure game. It's about curiosity, not commitment. Now here are the Murph Man and Connor.
You know, in high school, you just got out of it. But in high school, when I was in, I we had very lower standards. So I had to have 2 years of math, so I had pre-algebra and algebra, and then we had to have 4 years of English and then social studies, all that stuff, right? But science, I only needed 2 years. I took physical education and biology, never took chemistry, you know,
Physical education is not science.
physical science, sorry.
Oh, okay, I was like,
I'm
what?
saying that a lot. I'm getting my words all mixed up, huh? Yeah.
Yeah,
Early onset Alzheimer's, I think. Don't say that, right?
yeah, don't say that.
You're like, you can't go crazy. I still need you to pay for my college. Anyway,
I was,
oh, so going through high school, I never knew what I was going to do in my life. And I was working at Taco Bell, worked at Kmart since I was 16. I tried Taco Bell. I didn't like that at all. But I said, okay, I got a job here at Kmart. You know, it wasn't enough to really have a career, you know, but it was a job. And I said, I'm going to try to go to college. And that didn't work. You know, it wasn't for me. You know, I joined the reserves because like I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. And I refuse to let you have that same problem that I had. So I know we talked about your career a lot, and that's, you know, sort of that's what today's episode is really about. But before we get to that, let's get to the burning question.
Today's question is related to our main topic of exploring future careers. Here it is. What is the free online tool that helps match your interests to potential careers, often using a system called the Holland Code? Is it A, the 16 Personalities Profiler, B, the O-Net Interest Profiler? Could it be C, the Career Curiosity Board? Take some time to think about it, and now back to the Murph Man to find out what the answer is.
What do you think the answer is, Connor?
I think it's A, the 16 Personalities Profiler.
Well, you would be wrong. It's the O-Net Interest Profiler.
Never heard of it.
I know you haven't, because that's not something that we do. We've never had to do this. Okay. The O-Net is the program Occupational Network. That's what it stands for. And so it's a great website. If you want to go to it, you can. We'll give you the information later and all that. But you take the test and it matches a personality to your job. It doesn't mean that you're going to be qualified to do it. Doesn't mean you're going to be able to do it. It's that personality. For example, when you think of a mortician, right? People who work in a funeral home, do you think that they are boring people in real life, or are they like lively people and party animals?
Boring.
Right? You would think so.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had this conversation before.
Yes, like
You know,
3 times.
Yeah, because I love this example. They have to deal with all this stress and everything, so they decide to just have fun when they get off work. They're very different people. They're very somber and professional at work, but you know, not next, you know, not after hours, right? So the thing is, it matches your personality to your job. If you're an outgoing person, a very social person, do you think I would be comfortable sitting at a desk working with numbers?
Maybe.
Well, I like numbers, yes, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't have any social life.
Your social life would be your numbers.
Yeah, but me personally, you know me, can I be without social?
No.
No, I'd have to have a job where I interact with people. Right now, where I work online, and it's an online school, virtual school. And what's cool about it is we all have our quote unquote classrooms. We're in, like right now, I'm here in this podcast, and a student could just pop in and, you know, jump in and come for tutoring, come for help with something or a club that I'm part of or whatever the case may be. So they come visit us in the classroom. And you would, most people do that job. You're a teacher, right? You're at home, you're doing nothing. You don't have interaction with people unless those kids come in. So yeah, you're grading papers, and I'm not saying you're not doing anything, but I'm saying like you have no social interaction. I'm lucky. I have a partner that we work together, and we're in the same quote unquote classroom, so we can talk to each other whenever we want. we're not on camera.
Excuse you.
Excuse me. We're not on camera the whole time. We just wait for students to come in, then we get the camera, and then we let them in the room. But we had that interaction. That's one thing I love. I get the at-home experience, but I still get the social skills. And we can chat with people and visit people and whatever we need to do that's work related. And it's really cool. So the profiler is a free tool from the U.S. Department of Labor. Now, I don't know if it's up right now because the government shut down, right? But it helps you find what your interests are and relate to the world of work. So it has so many resources, and we'll talk about this later. It's a low pressure starting point for career exploration. You can, if you want to go to it, what we're talking about, you can go to onetonline.org. All right, we're going to cover that later, but onetonline.org. That's something that we're going to be doing. And what's funny about it is you might not realize what jobs you would qualify for. Now, the way I got my career is I joined the Army. I was a draftsman, like architecture. You've seen some of my work, pretty good stuff, right?
Yeah.
I'm not artistic. I don't even know how the hell I got into that job. Anyway, the military does this Holland Code profile. They use it in part of their ASVAB, the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery Test. And Connor and we talked about like he scored a lot higher on all the tests that he's taken versus what I took, right? He scored like 300 or 400 points higher than what I had. So I said, you know what? We both have to take the ASVAB because that's the only test that hasn't changed because it talks about basic skills. And get your score and you can see how smart or how dumb you really are. Yeah. It will tell you these are all the jobs you can do. And what's funny is when I signed up, I had every job literally. I had any job that was open in the Army at the time. If I wanted to wait for a job, I could have waited for a job. But I said, okay, drafting sounds cool. Didn't know what it was, got training and came back and, did that. Then I decided to go active duty. I went back to my recruiter and we took the test again. I scored 2 points higher. So again, any job available. And I picked this thing called behavioral science specialist, became a counselor. Well, fast forward to me getting out of the Army. I needed a license. I didn't have it. So I had to go to college. And I ended up going through to get my master's degree and some hours into a PhD, right? In that program, my master's program, I took this test that we're going to talk about today, the career interest game. And, you come up with a code. I'll explain it later. But I looked at the jobs and I was like, these are all jobs that I sort of done or have an interest in or I would have enjoyed had I picked them. One of them was mortician, believe it or not. That's why I talk about that one so much. The other one is park ranger. Now, why do you think park ranger was on my list? If I'm a social person,
I have no idea.
do you know what a park ranger does? Do you remember what we've done with park rangers?
No.
If you go to a national park and you go talk to the ranger and you have kids, they have like little workshops they make you do. You have to go to certain places in the park and you have to see some things and write down some clues. And when you come back with that book filled, you get a badge. It's a paper badge, but you get a badge that you're a park ranger for the day type thing. We did that a couple times. And when we went to DC, we did that because everything's national park there. So we were doing all that stuff. You don't remember that, right? Yeah. But the point being is park rangers, their job, aside from securing the national treasure that they're at, right? They have to interact with the crowd. They have to talk to them. They have to explain about the history of the park. It's a very social job.
Mm.
I would have never thought of it. If I was 18 years old, going, what am I going to do in my life? And um, I'm gonna tell you that I'm gonna say this, and you know who I'm talking about. Pika and Hung.
Who?
Pika and Hung. They were at your padrino's funeral.
My whose funeral?
Richards. The ones they invited us to go visit them in Big Bend. Anyway, they're with BLM. They work with the park there in Big Bend, and they love their job, and they're very social people. I have a few other friends that do it in New Mexico, being a park ranger. So I've actually got to talk to these people, what their jobs are. And I was like, I would have loved to have done that. That sounds like a cool job. Never would have occurred to me had I not read that test. Now, by this point, I'm already going for my master's degree in counseling. I was good at it. I knew I liked it, but it opened up a door for me that I never would have thought to look at, and that's one of those things that we're going to do today. I'm going to try to help you with what you can do to help you find your career. And with that, let's get to the core of the segment, which I call today's hot take.
Today's hot take is, we need to stop asking teens, what do you want to be when you grow up? And instead reframe career exploration as a low-pressure, curiosity-driven game of discovery. Let's see what the Murphman has to say about that.
All right. We need to stop asking teens what you want to be when you grow up. That's a really interesting thing, right? What do you want to be when you grow up? I don't know, right? If I asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? I don't know, right?
Well, computer scientist, but yeah.
You knew that when you were little?
We said now.
No, I just said when I asked you, Well, now I ask you, yeah, But one way to do it is instead reframe career exploration as a low pressure curiosity game of discovery. Now, what does that all mean? Well, one thing and we talked about this last week or a couple weeks ago, I've taken Connor everywhere I go. I've exposed him to everything I do. Like right now, I'm working with Stream 915 and .com, and we go to events. He's seen how the stuff behind the scenes works, how the production works, how the cameras are set up, and how you film, and things like that. And he's learning that stuff when he wants to, right? He doesn't have to do it. But everywhere I've gone, I've always taken him with me. And I also do animations and stuff. And I think that I've done some pretty good animations. I gotta say, I'm getting a lot better at it. But doing that,
excuse me,
doing that, I've exposed him to a lot of things that without even saying, pay attention, Connor, you gotta learn this. You gotta, like with the production right now, I'm like, if you want to learn it, it's there, right? I'll give you the option now. But when you were younger, I would talk to you about stuff. And I would be like, oh, look here, look there, whatever. And I exposed him to as much as I could. Sports. We started getting to sports, right? Little things like that. I encouraged you to play piano, whatever else class you took, culinary arts, which I love, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to explore out there. You got to make it fun for the kids. Now, I did push him into a tech program. I'm not going to lie, right? You didn't want to take all the tech was an option for you. And we went looking for him. There was 3 options he was looking at. It was introduction to engineering, drone, and computer science or cybersecurity. When we went to the career day to talk to the career people, the engineering guy was gone and the drone guy was gone. The only one that was there was cybersecurity, Mr. Hamilton. And we talked to him about what it was, and he told Connor, you have all this opportunity if you want to do it. Can you talk a little bit about what your program was, Connor, the tech program?
My program was cybersecurity, and we did it for the 2 years for my junior and senior year. Junior year, we did mostly hardware stuff, as
networking.
Hardware.
Oh, well,
hardware.
I understand that. That's not the wiring, the network?
No, we never did wiring. We don't do wires.
You made your own cat cable. That's the wires that they use for that.
No. Just because we made it does not mean that's what we do.
Oh, okay. So the
wiring is electrical engineering.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Oh my God. If someone's out there right now, please call us.
You're funny.
No, seriously, Connor. You've heard of a network specialist?
No.
It's an IT position.
Uh-huh.
And they go in and they put the wires through the whole building. They run the wires and they connect them. The IT people do that, not the electrical people. Yeah. I'm telling Connor. I'm telling you. I mean, you supposedly got trained. I guess they didn't do such a good job over there, Mr. Hamilton. I'm talking to you. If he doesn't know what network is, Network is literally that. That's what you got your test in. What was the first test you took? CompTIA?
CompTIA. Uh-huh.
But what was the first test called?
Security Pro.
Security Pro. Was it Security Pro? Okay. That was all network security, right?
Hardware.
But the hardware is wired together. If okay, we have two computers. If the computer breaks down, you got to open it up. That's the hardware. Yes?
Uh-huh.
Okay. If the signal, the Wi-Fi signal breaks down,
Okay. We code and try to fix it. We don't do any wires.
okay, well, what's the first thing that every computer tech always says in the IT
Turn
tech?
it off and turn it on.
Turn it on and turn it off, right? Or turn it off and turn it back on.
Uh-huh.
Reset it. Sometimes you say reset the modem.
Mm-hmm.
So that's still hardware.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes they say unplug it and plug it back in.
Uh-huh.
That's still hardware, even though it's not on your computer.
Okay.
And the cable running from the wall to your Ethernet, I mean, to your router is the Ethernet cable that was run by IT guy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Okay. So when I say networking, it's about the internet also, wiring all the computers together. You know those servers that they have with all the wires in it?
Mm-hmm.
Who does that?
We do, Sean.
That's not hardware, is it? Oh, wait, it is.
Yes, it is
So that's
hardware.
network. That's what a server is. It's a network,
Uh-huh.
right?
Uh-huh.
Anyway, go ahead. Finish your pro. I'll just shut up. But okay.
First it was just hardware, getting to know the computer, the insides of it, understanding how to build our own and how to fix like simple problems. Then the second year was more on coding with Linux and all that to figure out security problems in like different clients' accounts, company issues, just firewalls and security stuff,
Okay.
honestly.
And what about some of the other classes they had there?
They had, I didn't really go to any because I didn't care. Culinary, cosmetology, 3D graphing, like 3D design, drone drones, engineering. They had automotive, they had veterinarians, they had firefighters, law enforcement, I think. They had a lot of jobs.
Exactly. And that's actually a trade program, which we're going to talk about next week. If you guys are interested in learning about trades, that's next week.
Excuse you.
Excuse me.
Someone has some bad allergies.
Yes. And when I lost my train of thought with that cough. Oh, so his program is a bunch of trade schools, and we're going to be talking about that next week. If you guys are interested in learning about trade schools, what's more important, college or trade schools? Okay, but that's a discussion for another day. But his whole program was these kids going in and taking 2 years of a program. And what sucked is if you didn't like what you took, you couldn't change really, right? So,
No,
and you have to do a 2 year program. So kids go in really not knowing what it's about. Would you say that's a fair? Okay. And what ends up happening is they take this program and they learn it, and
mhm,
they go to it every day for 2 years. Not every day, every other day, sorry.
mhm,
For 2 years. And they have they have a great program here in El Paso for that. Um, you can only go as fast as much as the person has. Like he have a friend named Dwayne. Didn't you hear me right now? I said friend, and I'm like, no, it's not W. And I said Dave. No, it's Dwayne. I can't say his
mhm,
name.
mhm.
Who did auto repairing? He was also doing photography. And what do you think he's doing more of, the photography or the auto mechanic stuff?
Auto mechanic stuff.
Right. And he does all the stuff during sports season and everything with the cameras, right, for the photography in the senior season. So that's seasonal, but he does that all the time. He's a really great photographer. And as we're talking about this today, I want you guys to think about what you know what career you are in right now or thinking about getting into, or maybe you don't have any idea what you should do with your life. I hope we can get this game going and we can talk about it. So we're going to pause here, and when we return, we'll be laying down the codes, giving you the key definitions and context you need to get through this and understand what you want to do for a living.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murph Man will return after these messages.
At Military Broadcast Radio, the goal is to offer a platform for mental health advocacy while connecting the military community through various media platforms. Founded by U.S. Army veteran Joel Hunt, MBR gives a voice to veterans, first responders, and their families through streaming radio, podcast, video, and outreach events. With its leadership run completely by veterans and hosts of the diverse programming from all branches of service, MBR was created as a response to the silent battles veterans face after service. Military Broadcast Radio is also a Wreaths Across America partner, hosting a $5 backed sponsorship group page. For every Veterans Wreath sponsored through the Military Broadcast Radio page, MBR receives $5 back to help support their platforms and outreach. Veteran and first responder stories need to be told and shared. And with your support, MBR can continue to bring together veteran nonprofits, mental health organizations, and government agencies to bridge the gap between veterans and vital resources. To find out more and donate, visit wreathacrossamerica.org/MBR.
Staring out this hotel window, many floors above. What's missing down there is love. Thinking through the smoke that fills my mind. Don't worry, it's not my first time. Adios, amigo. I'm so glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios, amigo. I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town. They say it's all inside, heaven and hell. What happened to that angel when he fell? Give it just one try. Tell me you don't like it. Be God for a moment and don't despise it. Adios, amigo. I'm so glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios, amigo. I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town. Step outside and breathe. Play a little in the street. Hope it's not me they're sending. Move on from over there. Give the kids a little scare. Oh, these fences, they need mending. Adios, amigo. I'm so glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you around. Adios, amigo. I've been looking for you since I stepped foot in this town. Adios, amigo. So glad I seen you. I won't be seeing you
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
And we're back.
We are back. How we all doing? All right. So we've been talking about career interest games. And let's before we get started talking about this stuff, let's go over some of the foundation, some of the terms we're going to be using today in a segment called Laying Down the Coals.
Before we dig in, let's clarify some of the key terms we'll be using today while laying down the coals. Career exploration. This is simply the process of learning about different jobs, industries, and your own personal interests. Holland Code. This is a system that matches personalities to careers based on 6 interest areas: realistic, investigative, artistic, social, enterprising, and conventional. Net Interest Profiler. As we mentioned, this is the free tool that uses those codes to help you explore. And finally, vocation or calling, a strong feeling of suitability for a particular career or occupation. Let's toss it back to the Murph Man.
All right. All right. So let's go over those real quick, just one more time, one by one here. First off, you have career exploration. Simply the process of you learning about different things. That's why they have career day at school. Do you remember career day at school?
Barely.
Okay.
Last career day was like elementary?
Yeah, 5th grade.
Yeah.
That's one I helped put on.
Yeah.
And
well, you were working there, so yeah.
But we had newscasters, border patrol, firemen, policemen, paramedics, soldiers, and then we even had pilots. So we had a pretty good thing, there. But yeah, career days, you guys. You went to the UTEP's job fair. That's career exploration. It's things like that you got to do. Finding out about different jobs. You just never know what's out there, right? And that Holland's Code. Basically, it's the 6 categories, which we're going to talk about in just a little bit. The ONET Interest Profiler. This is actually on the ONET site that we were talking about earlier. That was onetonline.org.
Mm-hmm.
And take it. It's right there on the page, you guys. And it's literally free, and you can get these codes. And you're like, what am I going to do with these codes? I'll explain all that in a little bit. And a vocation or a calling, a strong feeling or suitability for a particular career or occupation. My vocation that I can say is the same as, or calling, is talking. I can talk. And I know sometimes I get boring, but I can talk a lot. And that has suited me really well because I've been able to be a counselor, helping kids, all of that. I'm a teacher, so it takes a lot to talk about that. But let's get into what career interest game is by hearing a story from the fire.
Alex has no idea what he wants to do. He takes the ONET profiler online and finds out he's high in investigative and artistic traits. Suddenly, he starts looking into careers like UX design and environmental science, 2 paths he had never even considered before. The game opened up new possibilities.
All right. So let me show you that again one more time so Connor can see it too. There's a program here that says he starts looking into careers like UX design. And it's not UX, it's UX design. Ever heard of that before?
Nope.
Never, ever?
Never heard of it.
Neither had I. I'll be honest. I had never heard of that until I started researching this class. And, it's a process used to create products such as like websites, mobile apps, software, even physical stuff that provides meaningful, easy, and relevant experiences to the user. That's UX design.
User, yeah.
You never heard that, right?
Never of UX, but yeah.
I had never heard of it either.
I knew the name, but I didn't know like UX. Like I knew what it was about. Like I knew what you just said right now, like from the definition.
Uh-huh.
But I never knew like it was called UX design.
Yeah, UX design.
And what does UX stand for?
Oh, you suck. It's you. I know this. Here, do me a favor, look it up for me. UX design. I didn't bother checking what UX meant.
Mhm.
It's, I think, utilization or something. Let's see, hold on.
User experience.
User experience. I knew it was I could not remember. That's what it was. User experience design. Okay. Thank you for asking what it was, because I didn't write it down over here on my note.
Well, no. Saying that you knew about it. Uh-huh.
No, I said I didn't learn about it until I started doing this. Once I knew about it, I'm like, oh yeah, well, that makes sense, right? In psychology, one thing you don't realize with psychology is everything is everything around you is influenced by psychology. The color of the room that you're in. Like on naval ships, everything is white, everything is pristine, everything is clear. In submarines, where they don't get to see the light or anything, where they're stuck there for days, weeks, months at a time underwater, they have like this weird green color that's painted on the everything's painted the same color, and that has proven to be calming to people who are in tight spaces. All of that psychology trained.
Hmm.
You know, when you're, I mean, I was born in '69. That's why I always wear shirts with the number 69 on it. It was during the space race and all that, right? Going to the moon. Obviously, I don't remember any of that. I was a baby, but
Well, I mean, you remember some stuff,
yeah.
right?
But they did studies like what would happen if you were not allowed to sleep for 3 days? Stuff that astronauts have to go through.
Well, it'd be harder for you to fall back asleep since you got used to staying awake.
Well, eventually you're going to pass out. You're going to be tired,
Well,
right?
yeah.
But if you were not allowed to sleep for those 3 days, they had like a little clipboard with basic math: 2 + 2, 1 + 1, right? Going into 2 days with no sleep, into the third day, they couldn't do simple math. They were actually hallucinating at 3 days. The brain needs a rest. You know, all of that was psychology based. So you don't realize what you're studying and what it influences until you get in the field and you learn it. Like you learn computers, right? Networking, hardware, software, programming, cybersecurity. Okay, cybersecurity. Let's join the Air Force and become, not you, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
join the Air Force and go work for computer science in the Air Force. Okay, now you're in. You get up to an E5, probably at the third or fourth year, maybe. And guess what? You can become part of the Guardians now, the Space Force Guardians. And they're guarding us, the world, but they're actually like protecting the cybersecurity stuff because there's so much. And you don't realize like the stuff programming is. Like we have this mixer here, our phone. There's just more technology on our phone than there was in the first ship that landed on the moon. Isn't that crazy?
A little bit, but yeah.
It makes sense, but yeah, And when you talk about different sizes of information, I was told once that the Library of Congress can fit on 3 to 4 terabytes of information. The whole Library of Congress on 4 terabytes. I have a hard drive that's 5 terabytes. So it's like, technology is advances, right?
Yeah.
But as you're doing this, you got to explore the careers. You got to talk about the careers, and part of that is that understanding what's out there, like UX design, user experience. The way chairs are, how high should these armrests be? There's all psychology and everything based in everything we do. So as computers, it's all around. But what?
No, I just looked up some information.
What'd you look up?
I was curious about the terabytes of Library of Congress.
And what is it?
The Library of Congress, if the entire physical collection was digitized, it would have 200 petabytes, which is
Petabytes.
200,000
terabytes. Oh, then I guess that's changed since I started learning about computers.
That was in like 2022.
Petabytes.
Petabytes.
Petabytes. Do you guys understand that number? I mean, think about it. If we were to count from 1 to 1 million in every second, it would take us 11 years. To get to 1 billion, we have to do it. It would take 31 years.
And you said if we count a million a
Every,
second?
every second, one number a second. It would take you 11
like,
years.
Wait, okay, hold on. Clarify.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Okay,
5.
because you said a million a second. I was like, a million,
No,
2 million, 3.
you count to 1 million every second, up to 1 million. You count to 1 million every second. Then that's 11 years. And to count to 1 billion is going to take you 31 years.
It won't take me 11 years to count to 1 million.
Connor, that's the math. That's how they do it. Okay, that's how long the number is. That's how big $1 million is.
And I can't just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 after like 1.
No.
2.
Well,
3.
yeah, 1 a second. That's the whole point.
Okay.
Maybe you'll do it in 10 and a half. I don't know. Okay.
Okay.
But
I'm like, I could definitely count to 1 million before 11 years, but the math is each second. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But it would take you another 21 years to get to the next billion.
31. Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. And then you're talking about terabytes, which I don't know what the number would be. Let's just say 70. And to count to petabytes, probably 120 of counting every second. And you got people out there that are multi-billionaires. So when you realize how much money we're talking about, when we're talking about billionaires, and they're worth $500 billion, they could literally give everybody $1,000 in the world.
I still have a lot of money.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but
8 billion, and they each get $1,000. How much would that be?
800 billion.
And
the 8 billion he's talking about is the population of the Earth.
Yeah.
Right. So 800 billion would be 1,000 to every person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
that's how much money we're talking about. You know, when you talk about millionaires and billionaires, then you got broke ass people like me. Anyway, you know, what I want to do right now is we're going to talk about the heat map that it's finding your career path. So we're going to go through all the educational stuff, and then we're going to talk about the career interest game before we finish. But right now, let's get to the heat map.
Here's the heat map for finding balance.
Take a career interest inventory like the ONET Profiler. It's a great first step.
Go shadow someone for a day in a job you're curious about. Real-world experience is invaluable. Create a career curiosity board, like a Pinterest board, but for jobs, skills, and industries that seem interesting. Now back to the show.
So they say take a career interest inventory. So let's talk about that. Let me share my screen with you. Let's see here. There we go. Can I make it bigger?
No, that's
as big as I can make it, right? Okay. So here's the thing. As you're looking at this website, it's called the Career Interest Game. You can look it up on your internet, Career Interest Game, and then type in Missouri, because that's where it is. It's a website in Missouri. And you'll find this. Now, what's interesting about this is you have 6 categories here. You have artistic, conventional, enterprising, investigative, realistic, and social. So then you go to each one and you ask yourself, this is realistic or artistic. And it says, are you creative, independent, courageous, all of that. Okay. All of that is part of being artistic. And then you come down here to conventional, and it asks you these, are you well organized? Are you conforming? Are you structured? Are you accurate? You get the point there. And then and so it goes down like this, and it's asking you these things. Now, what's really cool about this is after you do this, you pick your 3 categories. Okay. And mine is social, which is down here. Okay, social. People like to work with people, enlighten, or inform and help train. So obviously, I'm social. That's the first category. The next thing is investigative. Is people who like to observe, learn, investigate, analyze, evaluate, and solve problems. Yeah, definitely. And enterprising is people who like to work with people, influencing, persuading, performing. So my code is SIE. All right. I am not artistic in any way, shape, or form. I mean, I do some animations, but I do someone else's work. I don't just come up. But here's the thing, all right? When you look at this, you ask yourself, are these my hobbies? Do I like to do this kind of stuff? You know, but most importantly, you have majors. And when you click on majors, you see these codes. Okay, SEI is a little different than SIE. Okay, here's ISE. No, I want SIE. So we go down a little further. SIE. Okay, there really are not that many jobs, but I would say I'm equal in investigative and enterprising. So SIE, SEI, I can study Asian studies, European studies. Okay, these are just ideas for careers, you know, degrees to pursue. And as you're doing this, you know, it's interesting because you start looking at this and you you have uh you have choices to make out of those three categories. And then once you pick your three categories, then you go down and you look at it. But that's your Holland code. That's what actually your Holland code means. Okay. So when you're doing that, okay, that's what that's what I'm sorry, the uh the code. Once you have your code, then when you go look for a job on ONET, look for your code on ONET. So let me do that real quick here.
All right, I am back. Sorry about that.
I can do it there.
What are you trying to do?
Go to ONET. All right, so here's what you talk about here. Okay, this is ONET, and it talks about your profile and all that. So let's see. I had this open and I closed it. Excuse me. What do you think, Hunter? What are your codes?
My codes?
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna look up right now. What did I look up, honestly?
So just look at career interest games.
Career interest game?
Yeah.
On ONET or
Yeah,
just
no. Just look at career interest game itself.
okay. Interest game. And which one do I go to?
Okay, well, there's 6 categories there. So read what each one is.
No, like which link do I go to?
The first one is Missouri.
Mizzou, okay. Realistic, conventional, investigative, artistic, social, and enterprising.
Right. So go down and see. It'll say artistic, and then it'll say, "Are you this?" Or you know, it'll describe it. And if it's not, go to the next one.
I mean,
I'm wondering what your code is.
I could already tell that's not me. Artistic, no. Let's see my hobbies. Nope. Conventional, people who like to work with data. Well organized, no. Can I work? Well, do a lot of paperwork? No. My hobbies. Studying tax laws? Funny. People like to work with people. What are my hobbies? Discussing politics? Mm-mm. Selling products? Nope. There's always that one killer. Hobbies, book club, collecting rocks, astronomy, computers, and my analytical, complex, observant, reserved. Do I like to use computers? Be challenged? Realistic? Social. Hold on. Let me look up social, meeting new friends, going to parties. Sounds like me. Friendly. Okay, I would think I'm social or investigative.
All right,
More
so
likely into social, but I could do
you're pretty
investigative also.
even with investigative and
Social.
social. What's your third code?
I have to get 3.
Yes.
Um, realistic. I mean, play a sport, read a blueprint, plant a garden. My hobbies would be repairing cars, equipment, furniture, team sports, landscaping. So social, then
Social for
investigative.
sure.
Yeah, social, investigative, and then
So
realistic.
your code is SIR. So click on the S and go down to the career there, or click on I2. So look at the careers
Wait,
available to you.
where?
Investigative at the bottom. There's socials at the bottom and investigators above it.
Well, but where do I go though? Like majors or what?
Yeah, majors.
Okay. Oh, and then from those majors, I find like the ESRC, EA. So what am I? SIR?
Yeah.
Does IRS? Does it matter the order or no?
Well, you want to go to your favorite and then your second favorite and least favorite.
If there's a SIR, SIE, there's no SIR
Do you know why?
because it doesn't exist.
Because your personality and you're investigative. So SI is what you would look for. Most likely nothing with R. Does that make sense?
Okay, so SI. Mm-mm.
What?
SI, speech, language, and hearing science. Nope. S nursing. No. Are you sure this is real?
Nursing. You take care of pets and stuff.
But that doesn't mean I'm gonna be a nurse and take like a lot of nursing classes and all that. Because I like to do it doesn't mean I want to study it.
Again,
It's just a hobby.
not even that. It doesn't say that's what you should do. Remember, career interest game is matching your personality to a job.
Yeah, this is not my personality. That's SIE also. So that's enterprising, and I hate enterprising.
Okay.
So it's like 2 out of 3 that it gets me.
Like Meatloaf used to say, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Right?
What?
Meatloaf song, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. No?
Who's What?
Okay, hold on. Tenacious D in the Pick of Destiny. The movie starts off with that father being upset, right?
Yes.
That's Meatloaf.
That's Meatloaf.
That's Meatloaf.
Ah.
And he gave us one of the best albums ever called Bat Out of Hell. And then his second album was Back into Hell. It's 2 albums. It's amazing. Yeah, Bat Out of Hell is an amazing time. You'll know the songs if we play them, but we can't play them here. So we're talking about the career interest game. You look at those 6 categories, all right?
Oops.
And you ask yourself, well, 6, right? I'm holding up my hand.
I'm like,
6. And you ask yourself, what is it that I want to do? And what's interesting about it is it gives you the job references and everything like that. And it's just gives you things to think about. And did you find anything else besides nursing that was up there that popped up?
Well, there's a lot, but none of like
Okay, that you would want to do. Okay,
like
go.
they have my three interests.
Which is
Um, I was SIR, right?
yeah, it could be ISR.
SRI, clinical and diagnostic sciences,
There you go.
respiratory therapy.
Oh, I have a cousin Lupe that used to do that. Now go to the I. Go see what majors you can do there. See if you find anything you like.
All right, investigate, IRS, agriculture, IRS, biochemistry, environmental sciences, natural resources science and management, like forest resources. So just
A lot of data.
a lot of nature, actually.
Well, you're investigating. You want to know what's out there.
I don't want to. That's not what it said for investigating. It just said think abstractly, solve math problems, do complex calculations, and then the hobbies would be like book club, computers, crossword puzzles. Just get your mind like thinking.
And do you know what you said a word right now? Oh God.
When?
Right now. You were
For what?
describing it. I'm trying to think. I'm sorry, guys. Um shoot.
Oops.
I'm trying to think.
I don't even know what I said. Oh.
Read the category again.
What?
Investigator.
The hobbies
No,
or
no, the
like
instruction. The two things. It describes it and gives are you.
oh well, do I like to use computers, read scientific
Okay, what does the other one say?
hobbies? Book club, collecting rocks, computers, crossword puzzles.
That wasn't the list you just read.
Yes, it was.
Go back up to the.
Oh, you're talking about realistic,
Well,
maybe.
I don't know what I don't know.
Um, hold on. Yeah, solve math problems, do complex calculations, think abstractly.
Abstractly, that's the word I was looking for.
Okay.
Thank you. Do you know what abstractly means?
Yeah,
Okay. Can I give you an example? And let's see if you know it.
sure.
What do you think kill two birds with one stone means?
You did like two things at the same time. Two tasks
All right.
doing the yeah.
What about strike while the iron is hot?
Strike while it's hot. Do it when it's easier to um I don't know how to word it.
But yeah,
It just
because if you're striking iron, you want to make sure it's hot so it bends and molds, right?
bends easily, yeah.
I had a client one time and I asked him the question because he could not understand stuff. And I was like, does he understand what, you know, I'm saying? And I said, tell me what you mean with two birds and one stone. And he literally said, if I throw a rock at the right angle, I can hit one bird and it'll bounce off and hit the second bird.
That's what I think every time I hear
Okay.
two birds with one stone. I always think a stone just crushes two
A
birds.
bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. You already have one. The two in the bush might escape you. So you got to keep the one. There's all these little analogies like that. But thinking abstractly is an artistic thing or an investigative thing.
Investigator.
To be the phrase I hate is think outside the box. Think outside the norm. Okay. Think outside the box. It's one of those things that as people are talking about their careers and everything, you know, it's you got to think outside the box, for lack of better words, right? You got to explore what's out there. And what's interesting about it is as we're sitting here talking and exploring all these jobs, right? I have my son going to college and, you know, he might change his career down the road. Who knows? You know, he might take a class on political science and realize, hey, this is what I want.
Political science? Isn't that
Government?
yeah, no. I'm saying this right now. I will never do politics. I I don't like politics. I don't like the topic of politics. I don't understand any politics. Ask me about anything of the government going on right now. I wouldn't know at all.
That's sad, actually.
It is sad, but I don't like it at all. Like the news, nothing. Nada. I know nothing about it. Fifth Fam is the only thing I know about. But
Fifth Fam is a local program here in El Paso. It's a Instagram page and gives us all the local news, all the local gossip and everything, and helps you find lost dogs.
lost dogs, small businesses,
Yeah, people advertise
traffic.
on there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like our local news channel, but on Instagram.
And one of the other heat maps they talked about was shadow someone for a day.
Like an internship.
Not necessarily. It's take your daughter to work, take your son to work day, and they get to be with you all day. That's the idea. Although you can't do that in a school. But you get to see what the job is. And one thing where I used to work, I wasn't utilized. I was just opening the front door. That was my job, and I hated it. Literally. Yeah, I'm not gonna get into it. It's gonna piss me off. But one day we had a parent night. And how important, do you remember that? How important was I to that parent night? Do you remember anything about that?
No.
Because I was at the front desk, everyone was coming to me for answers. Everyone.
Oh.
And as we're leaving, Connor tells me, I guess you got a real job. Right?
Yeah.
But having your kids around when you're working is a different experience. I actually, and then I could actually play the video when I would get him right to school. He'd get off, I'd say bye. And this one time I pulled in and I parked and I said, I get down. He's like, what are you doing? I said, oh, I got to go talk to the principal. And I walk in and everything. And then he realizes I started working there and his whole face was like he did not like me working with him.
I did not like my dad working at the same school I went to.
And it just happened that's the job that I wanted. Okay. Had nothing to do with me trying to get to Huey. Okay. But I had some pretty good experiences. I made some good friends and whatnot. And
yeah, you had some experiences.
Yeah,
good and bad.
Yeah, exactly. That's everything.
As in breaking your arm. Not breaking, but bruising your arm.
Oh God.
I love that story every time. Every single time we go by Huey, I'm like,
All right. Let me tell you. Over the span of about a month, I was getting a little bit like dizzy spells, and I was like, I'd be walking, and my ankle would give for no reason, or like we were walking on a sidewalk, and it has a little lip on it. My foot would go on the lip, and it would twist. Like stuff like that was happening to me a lot. At one point, I had a little girl. I was walking with her, holding her hand, and I lost my balance, and I pushed her out of the way because I didn't want to fall on top of her. And I scratched her knee up, and she was one of my favorite kids. I feel so bad about that one. I do. And so anyway, we had to go. I had to go to the nurse and make sure I'm okay, whatever. Another time, I'm throwing the football, and as I step off the sidewalk, it's a hole. I go into the hole, and I try to balance myself against the tree, and I just fall to the ground, and I hit my arm on the ramp, and I bruised. It got bad. Do you remember how far the bruise was?
Bad. It was all the way from hold on. I'm trying to think. Up to your hand.
Oh, up to my wrist, yeah.
Yeah, no, it went to your hand a little bit, like into your palm.
Well, here, but I mean, it's my
the
wrist.
palm all the way down to like the elbow.
No, it was all the way here.
Oh, that's right.
It was all the way here. My arm was red.
All red, blue, purple.
Yeah. And everyone's like, what happened? And I couldn't tell them I fell at school because the people who knew that I fell, I could get them in trouble if they didn't report it. So I didn't say that I fell at school. I say I fell somewhere else. And actually, my hip got hurt. I should have filed workman's comp on that. I just did it. But what's funny about the whole thing is I reached for the tree, I missed it.
Missed it completely. Not even close.
My pinky rubbed against the side. And George saw me.
Did you hit yourself on the curb, like on the ramp, or the
the sidewalk to go off the sidewalk?
Okay, I thought you hit on the fire lane because that's where it was.
Well, it's the curb, but I went off the curb and hit the ramp. Yeah, pretty stupid. And Marty was there like, "You okay, big guy?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I was just more embarrassed than anything.
And how long did you have that bruise, if you remember?
About a month, 3 weeks to a month. It was ugly.
Yeah, try 2 months.
Do you think it was that long?
Yes, it was like the first 2 weeks, it wasn't bad, but it started getting more red, and then just out of nowhere, like the next week or so, it went purple.
Yeah.
Did you even get it wrapped? No, right?
No.
You just let it be?
Yeah, they told me to just take some vitamin E, and that's all we could do.
I have to check Facebook or something. I feel like we have a photo.
I don't.
I
I've looked
feel
for
like
it.
you do.
I've looked for it. I can't find any photos.
I'll look for it after.
I sent it to my brothers, and I don't think they saved it. But that would have been years ago.
Oh yeah.
But all right, so we've had the heat map. We talked about those steps you can take, going to the Career Ninjas game, going to the ONET online. All right, and you want to look for those. But right now, the fire's not out yet. When we return, we'll talk about the common mistakes to watch for and pitfalls to avoid from getting burned. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
It's time for a break. Hot Takes with the Murph Man will return after these messages.
Welcome to Wreaths Across America, proudly partnered with Military Broadcast Radio. Walking through the cemetery, we are reminded of the profound sacrifices made.
Not every soldier resting here has someone to visit them at Christmas. They gave everything for our families.
Veterans fought for our freedom, for us to chase dreams and live the lives they never finished. This time of year, we honor them, one wreath at a time. It's about remembering their sacrifice.
How can you help honor these brave men and women? For just $17, you can honor a hero this Christmas. It might be the only wreath on their grave, the only thank you they received this season.
Make sure every veteran is remembered, not forgotten. Their service deserves our eternal gratitude.
Freedom isn't free, but remembrance can be accessible to everyone.
Join us in this meaningful cause to honor our heroes. Beaker invites viewers to help us lay wreaths for the ones who gave everything. When you buy a wreath, send Military Broadcast Radio a message. They will personalize your tribute. They'll provide a picture with a salute to your loved one and send it to you so you can still be there in spirit. Thank you for joining us in this important mission. Wreaths Across America is proudly partnered with Military Broadcast Radio. Help us remember, honor, and teach. Let our veterans' voices be heard, now and always. Thank you for your support.
Another regular day, nobody knows. It's that time he's coming home to them from a foreign land. He pulls up, his mama cries, looks at daddy with tears in his eyes and says, nothing feels better than this. Couple of months go by and no one sees. Something just ain't right, only wants his peace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free and put his mind at ease. we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again. He gets help, but he still feels off. Sees an ad on the TV about a dog batting said, "This is a man's best friend." Whoa, so he goes one day and he picks it up. Never thought a dog could bring so much love and put a smile on his face. But he's finally found a saving grace. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again. Whoa, whoa. He needs help, but he don't know the path to take or the way to go to be free. Put his mind at ease. We will help, 'cause we can't stand to see a soldier go to God by their own hands. We will do everything we can to make 22-0 again.
Before we jump back in, a quick reminder of where to find us. For all the short clips and highlights, make sure you're following us on social media. You can find all the show details on our website, purehottakes.com. And for full show replays and exclusive premium content you won't hear anywhere else, be sure to subscribe at stream915.com.
All right. Welcome back. So,
sorry, the camera's like really bad.
What happened?
That won't do anything.
Camera problems.
Hold on.
All right. Well, you can still hear me though. Let me
Here are a few pitfalls to avoid getting burned. Don't think you need to pick one career right now. The goal is to explore broadly and stay open to ideas. Don't choose a path based on salary alone. You have to align with your interests and strengths to be happy. And don't assume your first job will be your forever job. Careers evolve, and that's okay. Now back to the Murph Man.
There we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see why
Yeah.
not.
See, I can't see him doing the job if he didn't like it.
I could.
You could? Why?
It's something simple and something he could do. It could be like a routine. Like, I don't think he would like it. Well, I know he likes it, but like if I didn't know him, I would just think he just wants to get the day over with.
Well, by
He
that
just do
point,
it
I'm
like
sure he does.
that's yeah.
You know,
I
and
mean like not in a fun way, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean?
no,
Like, how can I word it? Because it's gonna sound weird. I hate putting words together.
that's called talking.
Yeah, I hate talking. I don't like being social sometimes. Um, excuse you.
Wait a minute, you just got through doing your career interest, and you said social's my main thing.
Helping is my main thing, but sometimes it could be a pain. Um, I lost my train of thought now.
So the thing is, I don't think the doc is like doing it just for the money. I think he's in it because he loves it.
He could do a better job for more money. So yeah,
Yeah,
he likes the
he
job.
could. Um, but don't pick a job just for the money. Now, I told you
Mm.
when Connor was going for cybersecurity in high school, I told Connor, look, you want to get this job because
Is one of the highest paying jobs.
you're going to get out and you're going to get paid. I said, but You have to see if you like it. That's why we did the career program, you know. And I think he's still gonna change his career at some point,
Maybe.
you know, but definitely not become a chemist, right?
Mm-mm. I, I don't know why I have to learn that in order to do my computer classes. It makes no sense whatsoever. It makes no sense. You can't tell me otherwise. I don't need chemicals in computers.
Hold on. That's so funny you bring that up because that's the whole thing we're talking about today.
I don't.
They make you take classes in all these parts of your life so that you would find something you're interested in and then pursue it.
Yeah, no.
That's what college is about. Your master's program is where you specialize, but your bachelor's program is where you learn about all the different things available to you.
Yeah.
Science, political science, history, world history, U.S. history.
It's weird. They do that to every engineering student.
Connor, that's what I'm trying to tell you. They do it
And
to every
I know
student.
that's what
Every student
mostly engineer, but yeah.
at community college, every student has to take psychology. Okay, that's
Mhm.
that's the class I teach. They have to take it to be part of the degree plan. You want to get exposed to as many different things as you can,
And I hate it.
and that's what college is about.
I hate it. I don't want to be there. I have to take 3 different classes just for chemistry.
Well,
How
the
does
lab,
that make
yeah.
sense?
The
The
lab
lab, the lecture, and the
seminar,
workshop. Yeah,
and I get
it
that.
makes no sense.
I get that, you know, but that's how college is.
But I did my major for a reason. I don't want to learn anything else. It's not
Then,
really helping me, but I have to do
not
it.
right now, but okay. You were talking about you don't know anything about the government shutdown, right?
Well, I mean, I know it, but I mean, like, don't make conversation with me because I won't make anything. Like, I could do debates. I could like do some and actually I could talk for a little bit, but I won't know anything.
Well, with the government here in El Paso, we had an air show scheduled at Fort Bliss, actually Biggs Airfield, and they canceled it yesterday, the
Which
day
is
before the event. They have all the
BS.
tents and everything set up. If you've ever been to an air show, there's a lot of setup that goes on. And because of the government shutdown, they're not allowed to use their funds for something that's not related to the situation. So they had to cancel the air show last minute. And it was funny because, you know, where we live, we live by the airport, and you always see the planes flying overhead when they're practicing. And my brother's like, "Hey, are they practicing?" I'm like, "No, they're not practicing." He called me like 3 times a day. I'm like, "No, they're not practicing."
Because they were practicing though yesterday.
The Thunderbirds?
Not it wasn't Thunderbirds, it was another group. It was like 5 planes, I think.
I didn't hear any.
It was F4 Blizzards on Fifth Fam, I think.
Okay. Well, I didn't hear it.
I didn't really look at it. I think it was like yeah, no, they were saying that they were practicing before it got canceled.
So they were here. Okay.
They've been here. That's why it sucks.
It does.
Like the white planes that were flying over. I forgot, was it with you or with someone else? I forgot who, but we saw 3 planes coming from the east side to west. And I'm like, yeah, it was you. You said they were here for the show before we found out it got canceled the next day after.
The next day after?
The day after.
There you go.
Sorry. Yeah.
But yeah, so anyway,
Yeah.
the government shut down. But if you were to ask a Democrat versus a Republican what the reasons being, there's 2 sides.
I have no idea what those are.
What the Republicans are saying, they're taking away.
Don't try to
Hold on,
explain it.
they're taking away the benefits for illegal immigrants, and over here they're going to make our interns go higher. Okay,
Whoa, you said Republican or Democrat?
Republican.
And
right?
Democrats what?
They want to keep the benefits that we have right now.
Yeah, Obamacare and
So you do know.
I'm telling you, I just said 5 minutes ago that I know, but don't try to create a conversation
No,
with me.
I'm not going to, but I'm saying that's happening, and that's going to affect us.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I hate it.
Okay, specifically us. Either way, all right. You got to understand this because in November of next year is midterm elections. So half the House and Senate will be up for a vote, and you know, based on what you're seeing, you get to choose who you want to vote for. You know, so you need to know a little bit about student government because of this. You know, it depends on who you're listening to, right? Both have good and bad. Nobody wins. But when you're talking about political science, you learn about the world and how it works. You know,
That does not sound interesting to me at all.
really?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
I'm just not that type of guy to learn about political science at all.
And that's fine. Again, you got to take the class because you have to take the class.
Like economics and government I took. Yeah.
Right. Economics, God, you're going to hate that class.
Oh, I hated that class. Yeah.
Well, in college, imagine.
Oh, I'm going to hate that class for sure.
I took micro, which talks more focus on the little person, than macro, which is the bigger picture.
Yeah.
I took both those classes. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, when I heard microeconomics for the first time, I thought micro meant like science, as in like
Microbiology, microscope.
yeah,
Micro doesn't mean small.
that was like freshman year, and then they told me, no, you're learning about money, spending, and government issues, and I'm like, what? Like, I don't want to learn that. But yeah,
Well, and that's the thing, you tried it, you didn't like it, you're not going to take more classes in it.
I might have
The
to.
the other thing is when you find a job, don't think that's going to be your career forever.
Hmm.
Where you used to work, could you see yourself working there when you were 50 years old?
50? No.
Why not?
As a manager, maybe, but
Well, of course, you work your way up.
if I'm still like crew member as I was, no, I would leave because I
They
mean,
wanted you to be a shift leader,
a crew leader, yeah.
crew leader, right? And you were already moving up.
I was doing a lot of stuff as a crew member, yeah. Did I get paid for it? No. Overtime was I hated it.
That's literally that's another show, but like 20 shows from now. But it's about how do you get ahead at work without being taken advantage of? And that's the thing. You want to show your boss you can do it, but
at the same time, don't be a follower.
Right. Now, at work, I have a job where I'm a substitute and I work with two other people. And I tell them we don't volunteer. We've been told, they told us, do not volunteer to help anybody. If they come to you, have them come to us, and then we'll tell you to do it. Because what my friend and I, we were sharing the classroom. We had one teacher who was always having trouble with the computer. We had to help her reset it and reimage it and look for this, look for that. And literally, I would say a couple of hours, maybe 3 or 4 for that week. And she was always having something she needed help with. And when my boss found out, she's like, "No, you do not. You're not the IT people. You're not the tech people. Do not." And she says, "I will not let you help anyone without asking." Yes, sir.
I could be the IT guy.
Oh, eventually.
Joking.
And she, she was told, "Do not go to these people." So this year, a third person came on the team, and she's an amazing person. She's done everything. She's an amazing person. Love her to death. And I told her, look, because that we have a chat, and the boss will be like, "I need someone to do this," and she jumps in, "I'll do it. I'll do it." And I'm like, okay. So I talked to her and I said, look, I'm not lazy. Trust me, I'm not lazy, but I'm not going to volunteer in things I've been told not to volunteer. Well, about 2, 3 weeks later, she got not in trouble, but she got a good talking to because she was helping people. And that's what she does. And she got in trouble for that. And I told her, that's the point. That's what I tried telling you. They don't want us to help people unless they tell us to help the person because we get taken advantage of. That's the reason. Not that they don't want us helping anybody, but the reason is because we get taken advantage of. And, it's to protect us. So one of the things you got to look at is when you're at work, you're trying to help people and doing extra stuff, you get taken advantage of. But you also want to show the boss, hey, look, here's everything I can do, right? And one thing I've always said is at a job where everyone does the same job, if they have to fire somebody, how do you pick? Are you going to pick the kid who's always helping you, or are you going to pick the kid that doesn't ever want to do anything? Who are you going to let go? right?
Mhm.
So you do want to do a little bit of extra at work. I get that. But you don't want to be doing the work for free. At some point, you have to go ask for a raise. And that's also another episode we're going to be talking about.
I should have asked for a raise. I'm thinking about I should have, but at the same time, I was not ready for it.
You're right. You're right. You would, okay, if you would have been a crew leader, what is the oldest person you would have been supervising?
48.
Right? So imagine being the 48-year-old being told by an 18-year-old what to do. Now that 48-year-old, how come they're not a crew leader? You know what I mean?
Because she was a Mexican mom and not even a mom. I don't know what she was.
Mexican has nothing to do with it, dude.
But hold on. Let me
Racist
finish.
much?
Let me finish. Shut up. Let me finish.
We're 75% Mexican.
Shut up. You're not funny. Anyways, it's because she would come like here from Juarez and only come certain days. Excuse you. And
Oh, so she couldn't dedicate the time she needed to be.
no,
Okay.
but at the same time, she didn't care. She brought her friends over and talked to them because she was the person like that takes the tickets to let them in because that's all she could do. She didn't like really do much.
Right.
But she talked to her friends mostly that always went there in the mornings.
And that's the thing, you can get a job, but it doesn't have to be your forever job. She's 48, she's doing that, she's trying to make some money. Okay, so she's working at least. You know what I mean?
Not good, but I mean, yeah.
But imagine if you were her boss and you had to tell her to do things,
And
how she would feel. And then how would you feel telling a 48-year-old what to do?
Sad.
Why?
Telling someone older than me what to do
Yeah.
is sad.
That's not sad. You're the boss. That's your job. And there's a lot of skills we can talk about with management and how you do it, whether you micromanage or not. And I hate micromanagers that are there and asking you to do everything.
And they're not even a manager. I hate that.
But at the same time, if they're not telling you what to do, then you don't do what you need to do. Right?
Sometimes.
So it's one of those things that you got to look at and understand. Being a boss sometimes is not easy because you got to boss people around and lead, be the one in front, be the one doing it, and show them how it's done. One thing I will say about my ex-CEO, I really love this about Sandy. I mean, I liked a lot of things about Sandy, but in particular, he always parked at the furthest parking spot and walked in because we're not supposed to be parking where the customers park.
Oh.
And all of us were parked closer to the building, so we didn't have to walk so far. But he parked so far away.
Damn.
And that wasn't that far away.
But I mean, farther than everybody else.
Yeah, and I admire that about the guy, and it didn't make me change my behavior. But I did feel bad every time I saw him walking. You know, um. So yeah, just because you have a job, it doesn't have to be the job you're gonna have for your whole life. Okay, that's one thing. You can change jobs. In my day, they said, don't leave, be loyal, build a reputation here and there. But like for example, um, one one of your cousin's boyfriends is working, and he sees a position advertised for his job, same job he's doing, for $2 more, and he's like, "Whoa, no." So a new person coming on that hasn't even worked there is making $2 more than him. Okay, they say don't talk about your salary with your coworkers. Hell no, talk about your salary. It's not against the law, and they can't stop you from doing it. Okay, but if I saw that, I'd walk over to the boss, and be like, "I want a $2 raise. Because you're going to pay this person that. I want to be paid the same thing. We have the same job, and I have more experience. I should be paid more." And or I quit. And
Well, don't say you quit, because I mean, he could just be like, "Okay, fine, go."
Well, no, I'm
And
saying
then you could lose a job.
No, I'm saying,
At
but if
least
he
try to
doesn't give you
like
the $2 raise, quit.
rebuttal it. Yeah.
And I told him to leave. He's like, "Oh, but they count on me. They need me."
Because he knows what to do.
All right, but the bottom line is, you die today. Tomorrow, they're going to put your job on the market. How important are you to that position? You know what I mean? So this thing about we're all family, and stupid. You got a job to do it good, do it right, excel at it, be the best at it, put your heart into it, whatever you want to do, okay? But understand that you got to give when they give you as well. Don't let them take advantage of you, okay? Like I'm doing this on Saturday mornings, and I told you want to come on board or not, remember? You're like, yeah, I'll do it. I'm like, sometimes you don't want to do it. That's okay. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to be here.
Well, yeah.
But how would you feel if I said, Connor, go do the show for me? I don't feel like doing it today.
No.
No, right?
You wanted to do this. You have everything. I don't like talking about like school stuff out of school. You know this.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll be here. Like I said,
right.
I'll talk about stuff, but it's not my thing.
I know that.
So if you want me to lead it, yeah, no, not gonna happen. You're sorry, guys, but you're missing a week. You're missing that episode of the week.
Yeah, and and we're moving our studios soon, but maybe next week, but definitely by 2 weeks we'll have the new studio set up. I cannot wait, you guys. You're gonna love the new studio. You haven't seen what I got as a surprise. You're gonna love it.
Nope, never seen anything.
But anyway, it's one of those things where don't get stuck in the job. You got a job hop. Is you got to go look for more jobs. Okay. When you're young, start off and do this job, do that job. I know people that are not happy with their job. I get that. Look for another job. Well, I'll get paid less. Then don't take that job. Look for a job that pays you more. And then take another job and take a job that pays you more.
Or what if it's like the job that pays you more is something you don't like?
Well, then you wouldn't be applying for it.
But you need the money.
We talked about that. Don't take a job if you're not going to like it.
What if that's the only job? Then just go jobless?
Well, if you're homeless and stuff, but yeah, you need to get a job.
So,
okay.
If there's some like precautions and you need to take that job,
yeah,
would you do that, or would you take something?
I would take it, but I would keep looking.
I was gonna say, or take something you like, but it has like minimum wage.
Okay. Just so you guys know, after my wife passed away, I lost my job. I couldn't work. It was horrible. I ended up losing the house, losing the car. And I took a job as a part-time minimum wage.
Where?
At El Paso High School.
Minimum wage?
Minimum wage.
They gave you minimum wage?
$10 an hour.
Okay, it's not minimum wage, but yeah.
Well, no, that's right. Minimum wage was $7.25 an hour for the part-time.
$7.25. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's I'm like, that's not minimum wage. That's better.
$7.20. Well, they paid me $7.25, and then when they gave me the full-time promotion, they were paying me $10 an hour.
Lucky.
Yes,
lucky.
Connor, I had a whole family of support and everything.
Okay, well, I mean,
that's not a lot of money.
Hey, even for a full-time job, from what I had, you had more money. I still got paid $8.25.
Well, yeah,
no matter what, I only got a raise if I was a
6 months there
crew manager.
Yeah,
which will give me $9.
Right,
only 75 cents, which is stupid, but
that's not the point of what we're talking about. We're talking about the fact that I took a job that was part-time, minimum wage, because I couldn't find another job. Now, why did I take that job? Could I find a job at McDonald's, Walmart, whatever? Yes. But I wanted to get into the education system and start working my way up, and that's what I've done.
Well, then that's your fault. There's so many jobs where you wanted to take education.
Right.
So.
But I took the job I wanted, not the jobs I didn't want.
But I mean, there were still jobs available.
I could go work at Walmart for more money, work at Sam's and Costco, right?
Which had more money.
Right. But that's not the kind of job I want.
But it would have helped you better financially.
It would have.
Even if you don't like it or not, you need it. You're at the bare minimum. You're like, you need the money.
You're right. And after I worked there 2 months, they wanted to make me full-time, and they found the money to do it. Because I showed how valuable I was to the organization. Everywhere I go, I make it better. I do. I can say that.
Me too.
There you go.
Yeah. Hopefully we don't get copyright.
No, this is not copyrighted.
Okay.
We had a copyright strike a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the thing is, sometimes you got to do the jobs you don't want to do just to get to where you want to be. Okay. And it's not easy, but it's decisions that people have to make. But I will tell you what, there are ways to prevent yourself from getting burned. And we call those our heat shields. When we come back, we'll talk about those things.
Here are your heat shields that will keep you from getting burned. The O-Net Interest Profiler is on mynextmove.org. Digital tools like Google Calendar, Notion, or Trello are fantastic for time blocking. You can also find career card games or other online quizzes to make it fun. Let's hear what the Murph Man has to say about career exploration.
That's right. You got to look at this because these are the things that are going to help you not get burned. The O-Net Interest Profiler, remember, is mynextmove.org. That's a new website. Okay, the Interest Profiler is mynextmove.org. O-Net Online is the program for finding the jobs and everything. There's a book called "What Color's Your Parachute?" and it's for teens. You know, when you think about things you want to do, that's what it refers to. It's a metaphor. And then you can also find some career card games or other online quizzes to make things fun when you're exploring jobs. You know, but there's one game that Connor and I play, and I think we still play it. We haven't done it in a while, but it talks about what path do you want to take? Do you want to take the family route or do you want to take the education route?
Oh, Game of Life.
Right? That's career exploration.
Yeah.
You know, you get a job, you get paid more, but you got to make a decision. Do I buy a house? Do I buy a car? Do I have another kid? Right? And you get this and you're like, oh, what am I going to do?
What I mean, yeah, I guess. But at the same time, the whole point of the game is to buy as much as you can, live your best life, technically.
Right.
And sell it at the end for retirement.
Right, but it does teach you about life.
A little bit.
You know,
not as much, but a little bit.
You get bankruptcy about, monopoly, build wealth by buying properties and stuff, right?
Monopoly is the one that teaches you more about financial.
Yeah, to some extent, yeah. Okay.
If you land on someone that has a hotel and you need to save money, you got to go sell your houses or go sell your properties. Game of Life is just spin a wheel, you go, and then you choose a route. That's it. And then you choose like if you want to buy a house or not. But no matter what, you're gonna buy something. There's no way like you could skip it. Because I mean that's the whole point of the game to get as much.
Right.
But Monopoly is more financial wise and more strategized.
Oh, there is strategy to it. There really is.
More than Game of Life.
Oh, a lot more than Game of Life.
That's what I'm saying.
But Game of Life says, pick a career. You get to pick 3,
Out of 3, yeah.
So it's a little more exploration wise.
Exploration, yeah, but financial wise.
Is Monopoly.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that as you're doing it, right, you're exploring the careers, you talk to your friends about their jobs, you're like, that sounds like a cool job. And actually that's how I got into teaching. Obviously, I'm a teacher and I've been teaching at the college for 25 years. But when I say, I talked to my coworker, one of my friends, and we're talking, and I said, yeah, I got, I want to get paid more money. I don't know what I can do. And she's like, well, why don't you teach at the college? I teach there, and whatever. I'm like, really? Okay. So I went to go apply, and I got the job. I still remember my interview. It was an interesting interview. The guy says, so what do you want to teach? And I was like, I don't even know what you offer. But I can tell you what, I am really good at psychology. Anything psychology, I got it. And I've taught 3 courses there, human sexuality, lifespan development, and general psychology. So yeah, it's been fun. But it's me talking with my friend that opened up that door to me. You have friends that you talk to and they have jobs and you go hang out with them sometimes because they work like at restaurants and stuff. So you go there and, it's real slow and you talk to them or whatever. But sometimes it's not slow and it's busy as hell, but they make money. I'm sure you've asked them that, right? My cousin's son, he went to school and he got a degree in journalism. And he's now working as a bartender in San Diego. Why? He's making mad money. He's making, I don't know, 7,000 a month.
I knew you were gonna do something stupid. Ooh. I saw that side eye and I saw you smirk. I'm like, don't say it.
But anyway, you guys not gotta mess with him on that.
Always. Always.
Uh, the 6'7", remember the guy who's sick and he's wearing a 7 shirt? I love that costume. Anyway, but he's not throwing away his degree. It wasn't a waste. He learned how to do something, but he's making more money doing this and he likes that. Now, if at some point he doesn't like it anymore, he has a degree, right? You'd be surprised at the people I've met that have degrees that are working minimal jobs. Like when I was working as this minimum wage $7.25 an hour person, right? And it was like, well, you should go to college and get your degree, and you can get promoted because they see how old I am. And I was like, I have a master's degree. And they're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I just needed a job. Um, so yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, and eventually, things will happen. Another thing is just remember, explore, talk to your friends, find out what's out there. Don't just go to one job and say that's what I want to do. And that's why you take all those different classes at colleges. Okay. Let me see here. What do we have next? It's the afterburn, right?
Yes, sir. An afterburn and then the final burn.
The tools in hand, it's time to put them to use in our segment called the afterburn, you guys.
In today's Afterburn, here are some questions for you to reflect on. What activities make me feel most alive and engaged? Who has a job that I admire? And what is it about that job that I admire? What is one thing I can let go of to protect my well-being? Now on with the show.
Exactly. That's what you have to answer. Think of these 3 questions. What activities make me feel most alive and engaged? What kind of problems do I actually enjoy solving? And what is the one thing I can let go to protect my well-being? As much as I didn't want to, I had to do I had to let my job go because I just couldn't work after your mom died. It really affected me. And I couldn't work. I was useless. But as I moved on, I looked at those things and I said, okay, I'm not going to let that bother me. I'm still going to be me. And I've always said things like, I'm like 50% me of who I used to be, right? Oh, I feel myself coming back or whatever, right? I feel like I'm 100% back, and maybe 99.5%. But you got to ask yourself, what makes you feel alive? What do you like? Have you taken any class, Connor, that you love so much? You're like, God, this was cool.
Like actually learning stuff or like just the class itself?
Everything.
Culinary
arts, right? So what would you do if you just decided to not do anymore and like become a hospitality management?
What's that?
Learning how to run hotels, cooking, all that stuff.
Hospitality management?
Yeah.
No.
But I'm saying you can change because you like cooking. Go become a chef. Yes, chef, right? No, you didn't like it enough to do that.
No, I liked it enough to where it's fun with friends and all that, and to learn some things. But like, I wouldn't do that as a career.
When I started the job, my principal says I need to do about 30 events a year, and I said, okay, that's 3 events, 4 events a month, okay. And not me, all the school, the whole school has to do activities. They all count. The first year, I made 180 events. And she was like, that's just amazing, you know. But part of that was I started teaching the grandmothers. There was these older ladies who would come and they had nothing else to do and they would come and they came to my class with computers. And I taught these people how to, first of all, how to use a computer. And then we played all these video games. I told you, video games create all the mouse clicks and everything, right? And then we went into Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. And I taught them how to use all of those. And the project we made was they all made Christmas cards for their families. You know, how was I able to do that? Well, when I was in college, I liked application software. I was helping everybody, and the teacher says, "Why don't you just come do this for a living, Sean?" And I did. And I became a teaching assistant. We have a friend of ours that runs some of the stuff at UTEP, and she's always looking for TAs, right? And she says, maybe you can be a TA next year. Well, you don't know until you take the class.
What subject?
Physics.
Yeah, no. I can't do chemistry. I can't do physics.
We have to take one more chemistry, and then another year of physics, right?
I have to look. I forgot.
Okay. But yeah, so that's the thing, right? And if you like it enough, do it. And you do the job, and maybe you won't like it. Maybe you won't like it, right? Well, I hope you guys go to Career Interest Game at the Missouri website and look it up, play the game, go to OwnNet online, go to mynextmove.org, do all that, you guys, because you will find some options that you're not even thinking of right now. But I do want to say, before the final burn, next week's episode is going to be college versus trades. It's a 4-year degree versus a hands-on career. And college is the only path. And that's what we're going to talk about next week. So hopefully you can come back. We're not done just yet. We got our final burn.
The final burn from today's discussion is, your dream job isn't found, it's built. Start with curiosity and let the game begin.
Your dream job isn't found, it's built. When you find out you're good at something, you're going to keep doing it. And
sometimes.
What's that?
Sometimes.
Well, if you're good at it and you like it, why not do it?
Well, I mean, if you're good at it, but then you could I always say bad thing, like a routine. You get a routine of it, and you just don't find the spark anymore. And you just think of it just like a basic day-to-day job that just doesn't really bring you back to life.
Well, you're gonna get burned out at every job. I mean, everyone experiences that.
What was something you liked and you thought was your dream job before all this?
Before?
Like when you did something and then you're just like, I want to do this as my dream job. Like this is something I want to do for the rest of my life.
When I became a counselor in the Army.
Yeah.
And I help people. And that first person you help is really, really good feeling. And I've had people that were suicidal. I've had people that have killed other people. I've had people who've abused their kids. I've had kids who were abused, parents who were abused, all of that. And it's one of those things that you never really know what you're going to do until you're in a situation. And as I'm doing the counseling, I was like, this is actually pretty cool. I can do this. The hard part is the documentation. I hate that, right? Yeah. Everyone does. If I just had to talk to someone, I could do that. But I remember when that soldier in Somalia was going to get kicked out of the Army. And I prevented that, And then, of course, I also talked to the Marines, the ones who got shot at. That's when I knew this is what I was made for. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I've helped so many people along the way. Hungry, Connor? I heard stomach growl. I know, but
I'm a little I'm not sick, but it just this whole
allergy
week.
Yeah, allergies right now in El Paso are horrible, you guys.
You're lucky you're not here.
Yeah, well, if you are here,
I feel bad for you.
Right, but yeah. So the thing is, I lost my train of thought. Your gurgle just made me lose it.
Sorry. I mean, speaking about like before therapy and being a counselor and all that.
And at that moment, I knew I was respected because I told a psychiatrist that he was wrong, and I was right, and that was just one of my best feelings in the world. And it's funny because there's so many moments like that that I've helped people realize something that they didn't realize before. And as a counselor, you say something to someone and it triggers. And like, I'll give you an example. Okay, I had a little girl. She was 16 years old and she was raped, sexually assaulted, and she came in and she was angry and she was, he stole my virginity. He stole it. And I told her, he took your innocence. Your virginity is when you give it away. That one little statement changed this kid's whole life. No, I'm telling you. Another counselor started working with a psychologist because she needed more help than what I could offer her. And he told me that statement, I don't know how the hell that worked, but it worked. So there's been times where I can sit here and I can name all of them because I remember all this. There's more than I can list, but there's a lot of stories. So hopefully you get to that encounter and you get to realize I got the job, my dream job. I'm good at it. That's where I want to be. And I wish you luck with that.
Thank you.
I wish you all luck looking for your jobs as well. I do hope you're able to find a career you're interested in. Remember, you can always reach out to us at purehottakes.com or murphman@purehottakes.com. And you can also catch our replays on stream915.com. For Connor and myself, have a good week. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Hot Takes with the Murph Man. Your listenership truly means a lot to both of us. For the latest hot takes and much, much more, be sure to visit purehottakes.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media platforms as Hot Takes with the Murph Man to stay connected and join the conversation. My take is this show is over. Thanks for listening, and I'll have more for you next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.